Hi, this is my Chapter 8 video on the SWOT analysis of DBU. So I don't actually work at a place that's outside of DBU, so I'm just doing DBU itself. So I'm just going to get into it. Cool. So DBU's strengths. So the first two strengths that I chose were the Christian atmosphere and safety. So those two things are pretty self-explanatory just based on the name of them. DBU has Baptist in the name, and it actually represents itself as a Baptist university. I mean, when I was looking for a campus to call home after high school, I wanted to study theology. I chose to go here because I heard that it was the most consistent theological institution in the DFW Metroplex, and really almost all of Texas. And so it's stood up to the test of time, I guess. A lot of institutions have crumbled with their Christian morals. I won't name names, but DBU has not, and I think that's really a strength of theirs. The second strength would be their safety. DBU is very isolated. It's in a very it's its own place, right? It's very isolated. It's in a very serene place. Like, we're in DFW, but it doesn't feel like we're in Dallas. Like, it doesn't, like, we're in Dallas, but it doesn't feel like we're in Dallas because we're next to a lake, we're next to, like, hills and a forest, and, like, really the only two things that are near us are a cemetery and a church. So we're pretty isolated, so I think that's a strength of ours. We're a whole lake away from the most dangerous part of Grand Prairie. Maybe not the most dangerous part, but, you know, Grand Prairie is a threat, obviously, but we have distance from them, and it's separated by a toll bridge, so I think that safety is a very big aspect of DBU that a lot of people come here and are very appreciative of. The two weaknesses I chose are the dorms and price. As an RA, I get to experience the dorms for my second year, and they're pretty rough. The dorms I said dorm living as a whole with weakness, because the dorms themselves are pretty rough around the edges. I mean, they've had a little bit of renovation over the years, but they were built in the 50s, so we're living in the same dorms as we lived in the 50s, and so with that, so a lot of the same rules apply. I'm not necessarily angry about the whole, like, gender rule. I don't really mind it. I think it's actually good. As an RA, I think that the gender split is fine, but what I don't like is that I can't cook, and I have to really rely on the CAF, and so I didn't actually put the CAF as a weakness, but I guess it's kind of a byproduct of not being able to cook in the dorms. So the second thing is the price. The price of DBU is pretty steep. It's pretty high, and it's increasing, obviously, and so to support a Baptist campus, it's getting a little bit pricey, and I think that's drawing people away from the campus a little bit. For my opportunities, I said the growth of DFW and the desire for Christian education. So DFW as a whole is booming. It has been. Areas like Frisco and Roanoke and DFW are two areas that are particularly increasing. I think the fact that DFW as a whole is increasing population, Texas as a whole is also increasing in population. It brings more eyes to institutions around, and it brings more people who would be interested in higher education, and then the desire for Christian education. DBU is kind of in that, and is a similar ballpark. The Christian higher education market, and that is very limited, but it's still a very prevalent thing, and DBU happens to fall into that, right? And so people who come to DFW, for example, tying in the other opportunity, if they have a desire for Christian education, there's a lot of options for them at DFW. For threats, I said college attendance declining and Christianity's decline in highly populated areas. So I looked it up. There's a graph. I don't really have the ability to show it, but I promise it's there. College attendance in America is declining with all of the different opportunities that are being presented. A lot of opportunities that don't require a college degree, like HVAC stuff and working right off of high school. Like, that's very popular nowadays. And so college attendance itself is declining. The second thing is Christianity's decline in highly populated areas. The more urban, the more centralized an area is, the more likely it tends towards that side of being a little bit more liberal and being a little bit more less inclined towards Christianity, and we see DFW following the same pattern. It's a very liberal, very democratic area, and not that Christians can't be democratic, but It's just Christianity's less popular in DFW, and it's becoming less and less popular with the more and more people who move here. So, anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed my SWOT analysis of DBU. That is my chapter 8 video. Thank you guys.